Hey everybody, welcome to another Davinci Resolve install guide for FILMCAVE, and today we're looking at transitions. And you can see right there we have a pretty cool transition we're just switching between. This is pretty much the overlay method, what we've covered already, but this time we're using it between clips. Okay, so there's a couple of different things we can do. So let me walk you through some of these transitions, and then at the end we also have the cracked glass transition, which is a little bit different. But before we do that, I have to talk about my friends, the power bins. So I like to install all of my transitions inside of a power bin. And the reason for that is that power bins allow you to access different media assets no matter which Davinci Resolve project that you're in. Okay, so even if I was done with my FILMCAVE Studio Tutorials project, I could switch over to a different project. I could be editing a vlog, and all of these things, my film textures, my overlays, my sound effects, my transitions, will all be here in power bins. Okay, so let's make a new bin. By the way, if you're not seeing power bins, come up to View and make sure that Show Power Bins is checked. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to name this one Transition. Like my transitions bin got placed inside of my sound effects bin. Just embarrassing. I'm going to put that back up into Master. So I have my FILMCAVE bundle open in File Explorer. I'm going to go inside of Transitions. I'll go inside of this glitch transitions. That's the ones that I've been using for this project. A lot more than what I will install, but you get the idea after doing one of these. And these actually have a little bit of a file structure, and that's because each overlay has a 4K version and a 1080p version. Depending on the resolution of your project, you can use these different overlays. Pretty nice. Okay, but unfortunately we can't just drag this folder in and preserve the file structure. We do actually have to replicate the file structure here. That's fine, not too hard. Just go 4K, money K, I always do that. And 1080p. We'll do a sound effects folder. So I'm sure you see where this is going. All I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of the transitions and pop them into the 4K folder. Back up, go to the 1080p, and do the same for 1080p. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to spend any more time on that. There's a lot more to install, but let's get into how to actually use these transitions. Okay, so now that I've got these inside of power bins, I can drag and drop any of these out onto my timeline. Let's say I wanted to put one right here. Okay, let's see what this transition looks like. So I'm gonna hit play. Okay, pretty cool. Actually lines up with that like distorted sound effect that's inside of this lo-fi track. Yeah, pretty cool. So I actually have not done anything except for drag and drop a transition on the next track up above my clips. And that's fine. That's actually a perfectly legitimate way to do it. However, if you want to get a little bit more fancy, what you can do is use a composite mode. Now, a composite mode is accessed in the inspector. So make sure that you're selecting the clip. Click on inspector. This may be closed, so open it up. And then we'll come down to this composite section right here. This is also known as blending mode. Okay, so I'm going to click on composite mode. And one that always seems to work for me is screen. There's lots of different ones. You don't have to use screen. You can use different ones that fit your project better. Okay, and there we go. It actually gets rid of the black. This is blended together so that these white streaks, and we can see through to the clips that are underneath. So one thing that I like to do with these transitions is find the frame. Okay, so I'm moving frame by using my left and right arrow key. Find the frame that is most obscuring the image underneath. Okay, so that would be here when like this gets really white. Okay, and this is going to be, I'm going to mark this. I'm going to press M to mark. And I'm going to line up my cuts right here to the marker. Okay, because at that point, let's play through this frame by frame. I can't see any footage underneath. If you don't line it up to the marker, well then we kind of see the cut still happen. Okay, even through the transition. So it's just not as effective to do it that way. So I like to find the point where it's most obscured and use that as the transition point. Okay, so let's play that back and see what it looks like. Cool. Very cool. I like that a lot. Moving on, here's another one. That was also using the screen composite mode. But feel free to try other composite modes. So maybe I'll try overlay. Okay. That makes it a little bit darker, but has the same effect. Let's try it. Pretty cool. They're just slightly different. So feel free to try out the different composite modes for your transitions. Okay, so one of our more popular transitions is the cracked glass transition. But this one works a little bit differently. It still uses composite mode, but it uses different composite modes. So it's not just, pick one. It's not multiply or screen or divide or whatever. These actually have some very specific composite modes that we have to use in order to pull this off. This is also called track matte key in other video editing software. So for this effect, we have this guy. He's got a VR headset. He's doing a little bit of meditation. And this guy, I don't know what he's doing. Okay, so I'm going to play this back. You'll see we've got a cracked glass transition. Okay, so the guy meditating, he cracks into glass, and then we see through the one underneath, the next clip, the clip that comes after. So I'm going to rebuild this because the steps to pull off this effect are actually pretty specific, so I think it'll be helpful to see me do it from the top. Okay, so I'm going to go to my media pool, and I'm going to go and grab my first clip. Okay, that's the guy meditating. And going to cut this. Okay, so we've got that one on track 1. All right, let's just make it that long. And I'm going to grab the second clip. This is going to go up onto track 3. Okay, and again, I don't need this to be that long, so I'm going to cut right there. And in between them, we don't know how much these need to overlap. In between them, we're going to have the cracked glass transition. So I'm going to go back to my power bins, open up cracked glass transition. We'll grab broken glass 9, and I'm going to put these in between, okay? So the length of this cracked glass clip determines how long these need to overlap. Okay, so hopefully that makes more sense when you actually see it rather than me saying it. Okay, we're going to do it like that. So we have our cracked glass happening right here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut on the second clip. Make a cut right there. Okay, so this part of the clip lines up with everything underneath. You don't have to make a cut down here. So I'm going to click on my transition sandwiched here in the middle, come to composite mode. I'm going to scroll all the way down and click on inverted alpha. Okay, nothing's happened yet. We still just see this guy sitting on top. Now we're going to click on that clip on top, come to composite mode, scroll all the way down to foreground. So what that's going to do is it's going to map the glass onto the outgoing clip, and underneath, through the cracked glass, we will see the incoming clip. Okay, so let's play that. Nice, pretty cool. So if we just throw in a sound effect here of some breaking glass, this is a pretty cool transition. Okay, so sometimes you may need to switch. Sometimes these kind of track matte key transitions will require that you use alpha, not inverted alpha. So just play around with this. Just make sure that the clip that's on top is always foreground. Okay, the clip that's on the middle, the one that you want to transition, could be either alpha, inverted alpha, or luminance or inverted luminance. Okay, so just feel free to play around with those. But if it's not worth it to you to figure out how track matte key works, don't worry, just follow these steps and you'll get your cracked glass transition. So those are transitions, both the overlay kind and the track matte key kind. So I hope you're feeling inspired to make your own film, and thanks for watching.